Inhale. Exhale. Last one here. Maybe shake it out. Whew. I can already feel everybody's energy. This is awesome. So hi and welcome to this beautiful morning session. So the intro was so beautiful. Thank you so much, Christy. I call myself a somatic enthusiast because for a lot of my life, my body would express in ways that I felt like I couldn't really control, but it brought me so much joy to express myself. So today we're going to be talking a little bit about what sensations you might be feeling in the body. We're going to go over some tools for you to use in your lives. And I also want to ground into the fact that I attended this event 2 years ago. I was also caregiving, and I found that this was such a powerful event for receiving, for taking in what you need today. And if anything that I am giving you the option to do or giving you the space to explore is not your jam today, take what works and leave what doesn't, okay? So I want you to go ahead and take a moment to perhaps, I'm gonna type in the chat box. Is that gonna get us lost, Christy, if we do a chat box right now? Okay, so go ahead and type in the chat box any sensations, colors, or textures that you might be feeling in or on your body right now. Okay, so we're going to ground into any sensations, feelings, or texture that you might be feeling in your body or on your body. Okay, and go ahead and put that into the chat box. Yeah, a little chilly today for sure. Some warmth. Good, good. Prickly. Ooh. Good, good. Beautiful. Beautiful. Little shaky, got scarf around the neck, warm sweater, sore body, calm, anxiety. Yes. I want to welcome all of that into the space today. Beautiful. Keep going on those, and perhaps look into your community for what the energy of the room might be for you. Cozy with the blanket. Yeah, beautiful. So some expectations from today. And I do have some notes, so I'm going to be reading and also I'm present with you. So expectations from today, perhaps you try on fully receiving during this session and during your time here in this beautiful event. This event is specific to caregivers, so I ask that you try out receiving only for yourself today. So like taking every morsel of something that you'd like to store just for you, as if each person is talking directly to you for you and your spirit today, okay? So I cannot tell you what is safe, so I trust you to know what your limits are. I trust that you're showing up to this brave space of experimentation and the unknown today, because that's the type of space that we enter, right? I can't tell you what's safe, but I know that you're brave for coming here today and taking time for yourself. So a note on window of tolerance, for those that might not be familiar with this language, let's be sure that we stay in our window of tolerance today. So the window of tolerance is a space within where we feel comfortable, safe, and cozy, okay? So we can deal with daily stressors of life and be able to have our wise mind help with reasoning. If at all you feel like your nervous system's getting flooded, you're having a lot of anxiety, and you're feeling ungrounded, so you can't feel your body, go ahead and remove yourself from the situation. Those 3 deep grounding breaths will do wonders for that, okay? So be sure to stay in your own window of tolerance today. So what will we be doing today? Pardon me. So I will be leading us through a few trauma-informed grounding visualizations with the option of light somatic movement. So in Latin, soma means in the body. So essentially we're getting out of our brains and into our bodies, okay? So today's experience is all about our bodies, the sensation that we might be feeling within us. Okay, and then I'll also be introducing some bilateral stimulation as a nervous system regulation tool, and we'll get into that later. Okay, some agreements for our space. Listen to your body's cues. So that means like restroom, hunger, stretching, whatever you need to do for your body. Let's go ahead and listen to those first. Go off camera or move in ways that feel good for you. If that feels best for you, I would love to see you. And also, there's no obligation to stay on camera fully for this entire session. So we are buds with our bodies today. And perhaps you do try on just a little bit of discomfort safely. So maybe there might be an idea or a movement that might feel a little uncomfortable, but it still feels safe for you. Maybe try on exploring that today. And we're going to go with a curious versus a judgmental mind. Okay. So I wonder why my body is doing something like this versus my body should be doing something like this. Okay, let's leave the shoulds out of the room. Okay, we're going to do could and curious. I wonder, I wonder, I wonder. We're going to connect with our childlike spirit, and we're going to wonder what our body is doing today. Okay. And Christy, would you be able to take off the sounds of folks entering, if possible? Okay. Okay, so do we have any questions so far? Feel free to unmute yourself or type in the chat. Give like a minute for us to collect any questions we might have. Okay, feel good? Awesome. Here we go. All right, so this is permission to care for yourself even more. So is there a way that you can get even more comfortable in your space right now? Okay, so I'm talking taking up some big, luscious, decadent space. Okay, so that might mean taking 1 to 2 minutes to grab anything that you might need, like a journal, some cozy, fuzzy slippers, your favorite pen, any headphones if you want to listen more intently, some hot tea, any blankets. Okay, so we're going to take a minute to find the coziest version of how we want to show up and receive today. Okay, so we're just going to take a minute here. And if you feel like you have everything you need, beautiful. Let's just connect with our body and our breath in our seat. All right, friends. Awesome. All right, so time to sit back and relax. Okay, so all of the grounding visualizations that I will be using today are from my own training with the Institute for Creative Mindfulness. I find these to be very helpful tools, so I'm very excited to share them with you today. We're going to start here with a grounding tree visualization. So a way that you might want to receive this might be that you close your eyes and you just listen. Another way is perhaps you turn your camera off. I have a squishy ball that I like to focus on while I'm doing visuals. Look at all that. I mean, come on. However you want to receive this, we're just going to take some time to visualize this entire visual, okay? So I'm going to start with a quote here. A famous quote attributed to the late martial artist Bruce Lee teaches, "Notice that the stiffest tree is the most easily cracked, while the bamboo or willow survives by bending with the wind." Trees can be powerful metaphorical experiences for the practice of grounding. Trees and other solid objects in nature have many lessons to teach us. So whether you're sitting or standing, begin by noticing the connection of your feet to the ground below you or your body to your feet. Perhaps bringing your eyes to a close if that feels luxurious and safe and comfortable for you. Take a few moments here, noticing your breath, just noticing. Maybe pumping your feet back and forth a few times and letting them come to stillness. Really notice that connection. Imagine bringing a tree of your choice into your awareness. This can be a form of a tree that you like without a specific connection to your life. Or you may choose a tree that has a lot of meaning for you. There is always a chance that choosing the tree with meaning may bring up some memory connection. Nice deep inhale. Scan the tree with your senses. What does your tree look like? How would you observe its features? How would you describe them? If you touched a certain part of the tree, what would that feel like? Does this tree have a smell or even a taste? If a breeze moved through, what would the tree sound like? And if this works for you, perhaps taking on the role of the tree for a few moments. Imagine that roots are coming out of your feet and shooting into the earth below you, like roots of a tree. Notice the roots moving deep, deep into the earth, through all of the different layers of earth. Take a moment to be with this experience. Think of yourself being firmly rooted in the earth, in the here and the now. Is there a positive affirmation or cognition that pairs well with your experience of being a tree? This can be as simple as, I am here, I am strong, I am present, I am grounded. Taking 3 deep breaths here as the tree. Perhaps vocalizing the exhales, if that feels good for you. And once you feel complete here, stepping out of the role of the tree, noticing your feet, noticing your body, maybe wiggling your fingers and your toes. And coming back into this space in a way that feels slow and steady for you. So maybe finding something on your desk or in your space to stare at, taking in the textures and the colors. Maybe noticing any sounds in your room or in your space. Good. And here we are. I want to invite in perhaps just a stretch up or out. That might feel good for your experience today. Good. If it feels good for you here and it feels like in your wheelhouse of movement, maybe taking your hands behind your head here, and just breathing nice and open and exhaling just a little bit closed here. Breathing up and breathing out one more time here. Breathing in. Maybe the biggest breath you've taken all day. Good. Go ahead and release, shaking it out. Beautiful. Awesome. How was that for everyone? If you want to go ahead and type in the chat. Was there a difference you noticed perhaps to arriving to how you feel now? And this can be one word, 2 words, a whole sentence. It's up to you. Maybe just sharing with the group. Relaxing, good. Refreshed. Settled, calm, still. Beautiful. Yes, grounded, relaxed. Yeah, this is great because I want you to take note of how much time that actually took. Because we've done 3 deep breaths, which takes less than a minute, right? We've taken maybe like 10 minutes to do a visualization, which a lot of those types of things are on YouTube, right? And now we have much more comfortable, happier, nice, more calm, relaxed, grounded, beautiful. It doesn't take that much time to come to our breath. And if that is it for 3 breaths, then let that be it, okay? Beautiful. So we are going to move on to something called, this is a tapping meditation, but I like to introduce this. This is our bilateral stimulation. So essentially with bilateral stimulation, if this is new for you, welcome. I love it. It's one of my favorite tools. So essentially we're crossing hemispheres of the brain, okay? So in EMDR, this is something that desensitizes the brain to stimuli that might be distressing. But here, we're actually going to use it in a different context. We're actually going to use it to amplify pleasant experiences in the body, okay? So this is a cool tool that you can use throughout the day today. If something is just like, oof, it's hitting you in the heart and you're feeling like this is a big, beautiful moment, we can actually amplify that feeling and store it in the body using bilateral stimulation, okay? So this is great too, because I'm going to read a little bit about it here. So, okay, awesome. Ooh, breathing meditations on YouTube. Perfect. Thank you, Christy. That is such a good resource. Amazing. Yeah, be sure to check out Courage to Caregivers for the breathing meditations, for sure, for sure. So many primates, especially when separated from their mothers and held in captivity, cross their arms over the chest to self-soothe. Okay, so this is fear and rocking can be very soothing because we're actually crossing hemispheres of the brain. Okay, so maybe you try this on while I read a little bit more about the tapping. And just notice what you feel. So this gesture will sometimes lead to tapping the shoulders or even rocking back and forth while hugging themselves. I just feel like this is really cute. I love doing this for myself. In this exercise, we're going to duplicate this experience with the mindful intent of being gentle with ourselves and practicing self-soothing. Okay, so if any of you have been exposed to EMDR, you might notice like during reprocessing, it can be very fast. So it would be a very, very fast pace that's very activating. We are not going to go near that pace. We are not going to go near anything that's activating today. What we want to do is really guide ourselves towards gentleness in a very self-soothing way, okay? You're going to cross your arms over your chest. And this is something that you can keep your eyes open or closed. It's up to you. So we're going to begin tapping your hands against your body in a slow, deliberate, alternating fashion. Find a pace for you that's slow, soothing, or grounding. So again, tapping quickly can induce some anxiety. So we want to be sure we're doing it nice and slow. So here, I want you to go ahead and try on this tapping. I'm going to play a little bit of music. Okay, so I'm going to play a little bit of music. We're going to pause and notice, and then we might do another set or two. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and play us some music. Go ahead and begin whenever you're ready with nice, gentle, slow tapping. Beautiful. Beautiful. Just coming to a pause. Taking a nice deep breath in and out. I want to open the floor for maybe like 1 or 2 shares of what you might be noticing. So you can go ahead and unmute yourself if you'd like to share, or in the chat box, it's up to you. What might you be noticing in your body as you do something like that?
I found it to be really calming and relaxing.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Is this something that you feel like you could take 5 minutes by yourself, even in like the restroom or while you're hiding away, that you could bring into your life to have that feeling? Yeah, great.
I feel like when we first started, I was thinking about 10,000 other things I have to do. And I kept trying to redirect my brain to, okay, tap and focus. And after a while, that stuff starts to float away and you are more centered and focused on what's going on inside of you. So that's what it helps me do.
Beautiful. Yeah, that's such good feedback. Wonderful. Yeah, great. Better without the tapping. That's such a good noticing. And I also want to say, like, in noticing what's a no is just as juicy as noticing what's a yes. Right. So like that no of like, nope, I'm good. Listening to that is so beautiful. And I really want to reflect that back. That's such a strength to be able to hear that from yourself. Good. So we're going to try another set with some music. And if the tapping is not your jam, how about swaying? Okay. Maybe some swaying. Can also tap on your knees, really nice and slow, or the table, really nice and slow. But really it's about self-soothing. So whatever feels soothing to you. So why don't you go ahead and pick what you'd like to do. We're going to do a little bit of a longer set. And maybe just notice what you'd like to do. Perhaps swaying. There's a nice body hold that we could do here. Anything that feels soothing in your body. Okay. Okay, whenever you're ready. And if you haven't switched already to swaying, we're going to go ahead and switch to a sway. Good. Taking a nice deep breath in. Beautiful. Finding any stretching or stillness that might feel good in this moment. Really listening to that voice within you that's like, can you shift in the seat? Or can you stretch a little bit? Or I want to stay here just a little bit longer. Good. Beautiful. So this is great because throughout your entire event, today, bringing this into your life, taking a moment to tap to calm or tap to amplify pleasant experiences. This is a really great tool to utilize in your life in general, like waking up in the morning, taking in my breath. Okay. For me, I know it's essential for me before I interact with anyone in the world, I'm taking at least 3 deep breaths with myself. The most that I can do is take those 3 deep breaths and be a version of myself that is like non-reactive from the start, right? Like I am not one to wake up and be able to interact with people right away. I need that time. So I might put on a song, sway, and just like gently wake myself up as if I was waking up a child. Okay. All of us, I don't want to speak for everyone's experience, and I'm guessing that a lot of us would benefit from soothing in some way. Okay, so self-soothing, hugs, touch, things like this can be a really great introduction to your day. Beautiful. Beautiful. So I'm reading from the chat here. Swaying to the music, I immediately felt my body return to the nurturing feeling of holding and swaying with a baby in my arms. Yeah. These are the really juicy moments that I love to help people discover, is that it doesn't take a lot for us to come home to ourselves. It doesn't take a lot to nurture ourselves in the way that we might like to nurture a child, right? And I think that there's a lot of instances where I especially like treating myself like a little kid is really beneficial. I mean, like coming back to things like this because I like it and because it feels soothing, right? Beautiful. So we're going to move on to, I would love if you feel like writing or drawing today, grabbing your journal or a piece of paper if you haven't done so already. And we're going to do a little bit of an exercise with poetry, okay? So taking a minute to grab what you need to grab, maybe even refresh your cozy beverage. Beautiful. Yeah. And I also want to bring to this space that for folks that I know it's very hard for me to sit still as well. I like to say bring yourself to presence versus stillness for a lot of this stuff, because if presence for you is also while you're being active and doing 5 other things, great. Let it be your present time while you're cooking, while you're taking care of someone, right? Like let those moments be present of just tuning into textures and sensations in and on the body. That can bring us to presence. Not necessarily stillness is going to work for everyone. Okay, so as we do this next piece, Tune into what you might need during this. Beautiful. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to read poetry to you. I'm going to read a poem from Become by Emery Allen. I'm going to read it through twice. So when I talk about grounded movement, I'm also talking about internally what's going on and tuning in with internal, like tuning in with our brain. So this piece, and poetry especially, I really feel like feeds into busy mind. It's like, okay, then find a word to grasp onto, find a sentence that speaks to you, right? So this whole poem might not be your jam, but are there places, the way that I say it, the way that I said a word, the spaces in between the word or the sentence that speak to you, okay? So go ahead from this reading, notice any ideas, sensations, or phrases that stick out or that create sensation in the body while I'm reading it. If you notice anything, feel free to write it down in your journal, okay? And I'm gonna leave a little bit of space after this reading to free write a bit. So we're gonna take like 2 minutes to free write. So what did this bring up for you, okay? May this be a love letter to yourself and to your inner child as you give care back to you, okay? I'll catch your tears in a mason jar and kiss your scars until they turn into waves. When the time is right, I'll carry you and your salty water to the beach. And we'll lay with the tides until you feel like you're home again. I'm gonna read that one more time. I'll catch your tears in a mason jar and kiss your scars until they turn into waves. When the time is right, I'll carry you and your salty water to the beach, and we'll lay with the tides until you feel like you're home again. I'm gonna take some time here with a little bit of music. Just notice what you notice as you write or you draw. Taking a moment or two to find a good stopping place. Maybe inviting in deep breath. What was it like to be read to? What was this experience like for you? Again, unmuting yourself or typing in the chat. No obligation to share. This is for you and only you. Honor that. Nice and gentle. Nurturing. Beautiful. Good. Beautiful.
It was nice to not be the one reading.
I could tap that one in. Yeah. To not be the one reading, to be the one receiving. Beautiful. Beautiful. So, my friends, we are in our last section here. What I'm going to invite in is body expression in the way you'd like to take up space. Okay, so what I mean by that is we're going to go ahead and stop the recording shortly, and we're going to listen to a song. And in this song, we're going to take the entire song to use our bodies to express in the way that we would like to today. So this is the somatic movement part of today, okay? So I want to also normalize the experience of being in our seats, okay? So this swaying, I have a spinny seat, so I might spin myself. I might take myself for a little ride. Okay, so this is up to you how you'd like to have this piece move through your body. I want to create space for the weird and the wild. I tend to create spaces for the rebel healers at heart. Okay, so feel free to take up space in your weird and your wildness. You don't need to be on camera for this. I will stay on camera to show you how weird I can get, and I will show you that. But I really want you to infuse this next portion with curiosity. So like following my hand might be nice. Following the way my hand wants to touch my other hand, right? Bringing into curiosity for the movement versus judgment of like, this looks weird. What am I doing? Okay, out of the head and into the body. Okay. All right, so we're going to go ahead and stop the recording. I'll catch your tears. I'll catch your tears in a mason jar and kiss your scars until they turn into waves. When the time is right, I'll carry you in your salty water to the beach. We'll lay with the tides until you feel like you're home again. Maybe taking a nice deep breath here. My friends, I'm going to do a little bit of an exercise for us in case it would make sense that I also had that experience with the song of tears, feeling very emotional towards myself. So I would love to lead you all through a little exercise to contain what we worked through and on today so that you can use this container at any point where things might feel a little bit too big, okay? So perhaps again, just finding a comfortable seat. So containers come in various shapes and sizes. They can be things for us to hold that we're also not quite ready to digest. Maybe we just don't have the energy for it. So this container exercise is a really empowering way for us to also choose our battles, choose what we work on. Oftentimes, I think in the urgency of our society, it's very much like, oh, that thing popped up, I got to heal it, or this one thing. And if we are in a caregiving role, we have enough. Okay, so like compartmentalizing is a really good way to also care for ourselves if we do it consciously. Okay. What are some examples of containers that you can think of? So just trying to think of examples in your mind. So maybe like a drawer or a mason jar, even Tupperware that you really love. something that has a really pleasant feeling to it, and it has a lid or can be contained. Okay. Maybe even a backpack, whatever you choose. Go ahead into your mind and pick a visual representation of the container that works for you. Many containers can work for this purpose, so it doesn't actually matter what you choose. Just choose something that has great meaning for you or something that's more neutral. I want you to go ahead and picture yourself opening this container. Send in or picture yourself placing whatever you might need to place, especially any big feelings that might have arisen during today's session. Any of that big stuff that's like, whoa, this is a big wave, it could take me out, you know, go ahead and put it into your container. Okay, so visualize yourself putting all of that into your container and following each thread of that idea, that experience down into your container. So we're not stuffing it away, we're just managing when we open it and when we examine it. So from here, go ahead and place your lid on your container or zip it up or put the drawer away. And we're going to go ahead and put that in a place in your mind where you know it's there, and you can consciously choose to open it and work on it at a time that you see fit. Okay. We're going to end today with the same 3 deep breaths that we started with. Okay. Deep breath in and out. Another deep breath in and out. Last one here. Good. My goodness, what a pleasure it has been to share space and presence with all of you today. Truly, I hope that you can use all of these tools when you would like to. And remember that we can also bring people into our slowness. Okay, we don't have to keep up with the busyness or the urgency. Okay, we can actually bring people into our energy, into our slowness. So even inviting in a family member or friend, hey, I love what you're saying, and I really want to hear you, but would you be able to take 3 deep breaths with me before we get started? Okay, that's another great tool that I love to use. Okay, thank you all so much. And thank you so much, Jenny and Christy, for having me. What a dream it is to be here with all of you this morning. I hope you have the most beautiful day.